Hello everyone, and welcome to VOD of Consciousness with Sientir. I'm Sientir, and here we're at the character login screen. I don't usually show this. It's kind of a neat scene. You might notice, however, that there's currently a blank character slot. I really like the this angle, by the way. This is not the default angle. The default angle is like off that way, but behind us is the sun rising. I think that's really cool. But the reason is because I have a character that I like to take in and out of pre-searing. Basically, I start a character, experience pre-searing, when I feel like I've done everything there. I take them to post-searing, empty their inventory, delete them, and make them fresh. And that character actually kind of started off this this whole series fairly early on, doing stuff in pre-searing. Valerie Peace. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new character. And so this is, I'm just going to walk you through this process because I haven't shown this off before. I think it's rather interesting. I love this picture, by the way. So there's PvP only characters, which can only do PvP, but like start at level 20 and with access to a bunch of stuff, so you don't have to do a bunch of work to get them set up. We're going to make a role-playing character because that's what's relevant here. And you can pick which campaign you want to start in. Prophecies is the one with Pre-Searing Ascalon. That's what I'm going to do. The other ones, I can show you the starter areas. They don't go away or anything. But with Prophecies, you have the Searing, which gets rid of Pre-Searing Ascalon. So now we need to pick our profession. So each campaign has these core 6 professions available: the Warrior, Ranger, Monk, Necromancer, Mesmer, and Elementalist. These are various characters. I don't know where this female ranger came from. Aiden is the main character. This is, I think this is Menlo and Eve, and then Sign. But this is not Devona, this is not Aiden, and there's not actually a main story Mesmer. So I want to actually do a warrior for this one, just because I think that's going to kind of suit what I want to do. But you can see the description. It talks about rangers, and they have a lot of cool stuff. At some point in time, I'm probably going to play other characters, but as you know, I've been playing my Paragon a lot lately. And then there's monks, necromancers, mesmers, and elementalists, but we're going to go with a warrior. I'm going to go with female. This is just my preference. This is how character creation works. It is singularly, like, it's functional, right? But this is a game from 2005. It is pretty limited. You have a selection of faces you can pick from. I'm not sure which one I'm wanting. Probably that one. Let's go with that skin tone. And then I don't know. I'm partial to redheads, so you'll notice I have a lot of red-haired characters. So let's just go with that. And then there's different hairstyles. So the Guild Wars 2 character creation system is significantly superior to this one, as you would hope. It's actually one of my favorite character creation systems, but this is what we've got here. Yes, this one with the dangly bits. Not going to use that one. This one reminds me of Devona. I think that might be the one Devona has. Let's see. What do I want to go with? How about just this one? Why not? That's a reasonable hairstyle. I'm happy enough with it. And then you get to pick body scale. Let's just go somewhere in the middle. And then default our colors for this. Who wants to show that helmet? I like purple, so I'm just going to default everything to purple. And then it's time to name the character. So, it's going to be the traditional name of Valerie Peace. And now, it's going to be time for the cutscene.
The last day dawns on the kingdom of Ascalon. It arrives with no fanfare, no tolling of alarms. Those who will remember will speak fondly of the warm morning breeze. people carry on with their daily lives, unaware that in a short while, everything they have ever known will come to an end.
Scribe?
Yes, my lord.
These Char are relentless, but we shall hold the wall at all costs.
Yes, my lord.
Take this message to Sir Titus. Go forth and recruit the strongest, the smartest. Bring to me the bravest in all of Ascalon. Find me the heroes who will lead our kingdom to glory.
As you command, my king.
Don't know why it bugs out there at the end, but let's turn off local chat. So that is the introduction. Welcome. Apparently it did not keep that I don't want my helmet. So there's a couple of different things that we can do right off the bat. But as you notice, we have nothing. We have no skills, no attribute points, nothing. We have 100 HP, 20 energy. That's just default for a warrior. So I really like the opening cutscene, and I'm going to spend a couple of moments to talk about why. It establishes the setting, establishes Ascalon. Man, they put so much work into setting this place up, and then they just blow it up. Just looking at the cathedral over there with the bell towers and stuff. But, and there's the wall. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I love it. Like, this whole area feels nostalgia. But what you see is that what we start off with is King Adalbern is looking for heroes to protect Ascalon. That is our focus. Defend Ascalon against the Char. And I really like that initial start, that initial, let's see, 0% of the way to my next level. You can see I need 2,000 experience for the next level. But I really like the scope that this game starts at. It's very simple. Here's our kingdom, let's protect it against these invaders. And it has a very heroic sort of feel to everything, all that sort of stuff. I love that start. And as the game goes on and the plot evolves, the scope expands. But I really like how it starts. I love the look of this area, and it's just super nostalgic. So, anyway, the town crier says, "Excuse me, you're Valerie Peace, aren't you? I think Sir Titus was looking for you. He said he had some good news for you. I like good news." He just doesn't have a whole lot to say here. So there's a bunch of stuff going on. I can get festival hats if I want to. But our initial goal here, our initial, I guess you could say, thing we're trying to accomplish, he says, "There you are, my friend. I am glad you are here. I have news that I think you'll appreciate." He says, "I've been looking for you everywhere, Valerie Peace. The king has ordered a new offensive against the Char. This is your chance for glory and adventure, but you'll need to know more about your craft before going north of the wall. Tell you what, travel to the southwest gate, which will lead you to Lakeside County. I'll have Van the Warrior waiting for you outside. He can show you a trick or two. Thank you, Sir Titus. I'm on my way." So there's Armin Saberlin, there's Sir Titus. Sir Titus shows up later. So I can have costumes and festival hats made. So these are 10 gold, so it's probably not worth having him give me any of these right now. I've got a bunch of festival hats because I've been playing this game for friggin' since the beginning, just about. So I have, like, a ton of those available to me. I mean, I could buy one, but I don't think it's worth 10 gold right now. I could also get costumes, which just go over armor. I've been using them a lot on my other character. But I'm not going to grab any right now. I have a lot that you can see are like themed after the gods. So Lyssa, Cormier, Balthazar, Melandru, and Grenth and Dwayna. But I'm not going to grab any of those right now. I could, but I'm not going to. Wow, there's a ton of people here. My goodness. So, this is kind of how the game starts, and it's like, okay, we're gonna have a dude do stuff for you. But what I'm gonna do, so there's some stuff that was added later, like Lieutenant Langmar over here was added later, and this is for higher level quests. Once you get a certain amount of experience, it's to help with people trying to get to level 20 in Pre-Searing Ascalon. Like, this person's level 19. This area is not really built with the idea that people would be going to level 20, but people love it so much that they just stayed here and they found ways to kind of work the system, as it were, to like death level enemies to be able to get themselves up to level 20. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can do here. So, for example, Baron Egan here says, a group of bandits have been terrorizing Lakeside recently. They've grown so bold that they ambushed a royal tax collector and stole a chest full of gold. That gold is vital to our war effort against the Char and must be recovered. You look like you could give those bandits a good thrashing. Will you recover the stolen chest and then return it to Vivona and Ashford for me? You can count on it. So what my plan here is, by the way, it's just that way everybody knows what my intentions are, is I think, because this is episode 100, and unless I've done my math wrong, but yeah, this should be episode 100. So what I want to do is I just want to spend some time in Pre-Searing Ascalon to kind of celebrate having gotten to episode 100, and I want to just go around and see the things that I can see and do the things that I can do. I think eventually she has a quest relating to her brother who becomes a henchman later that can work with you. Kimmy's the historian here is named after a developer named Joe Kimmy's, and he can allow you to be able to transfer titles that you can earn in Pre-Searing Ascalon to the Hall of Monuments, which has relevance to Guild Wars 2 stuff. So he's also newer, relatively speaking. Here's Prince Rurik. He says, well met, young hero. It's a glorious day to be alive, is it not? I know some might think of these as dark times with the Char threatening us from the north, but Ascalon is the greatest nation in fair Tyria. We shall never fall before the Char, never. He's pretty optimistic at this point in time. That optimism will be broken later. Here's Sign or Sin or whatever. Probably Sin for Cinder. I think I've mentioned that before. She says, what do I look like? The Town Herald? I'm busy. She has a unique appearance and all that sort of stuff. So you can actually see King Adalburn and the Scribe, the Ascalonian Scribe, are actually over here. Like, it's hard to get an angle where you can actually see them. Like, it's kind of off there in the distance, so you can kind of see them, but they're actually up there, which I think is really interesting. Sorry if the first person makes anyone uncomfortable, by the way. I love... So you can see, even back in these days, there's a lot of ruins, a lot of ruined buildings. But there's so many sunbeams. I love the colors in the trees. It's just... I'm going to gush about this area a lot because it is a huge favorite of mine. I have my guild cape up. I'm going to actually go ahead and hide it for now because I don't like it swaying back and forth. But anyway, there's a couple of other things that might be useful. So the first one is I can type /bonus, and it will populate me with all of these bonus items that I've gotten for like various things that I've signed up for. So for example, I can get this cool sword, I can get this cool hammer. Most of them require 9 attribute points though, so they're not really worth using because I'm not going to have enough attribute points right now to make them any good. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly delete a bunch of them. I'm going to hang on to this sword and this shield for now, I think. You don't actually get an axe from this, which is a little interesting. And I guess I might as well hang on to this hammer. This right here is something that you can only use when you're lower than level 20, and it will summon a fire imp ally to support you, which I'm going to hang on to that for now, because I will probably want to use it at some points in time. Over here we have Neymar. Now, this is interesting. Neymar is using a Crichton appearance. This is a Crichton, not an Ascalonian. He's Crichton armored. Crichtons tend to have darker skin tones and have these like tattoos and stuff. This is Crichton style clothing as opposed to Ascalonian clothing. So this guy looks like a Crichton. But he says, alas, I am behind on my rent, and my landlord, Gelson, has run out of patience with me. I fear I will be put out of my home. I'll understand if you'd rather not help a Crichton. Our nations were at war a long time. But I'm not your enemy, and could really use some assistance. So it even calls him out as being a Crichton here. My friend Miller Upton lives to the southwest. I know he'll help me if I can get a message to him. If you're going that way, could you tell him of my plight? Certainly. How could I refuse? So that's kind of the sort of initial stuff that we can do. There's some amount of lag going on that I think will probably get better once I'm no longer in a place filled with people doing stuff. I don't know why it's so laggy, actually. And then there's some other NPCs. One of the things, though, that I want to point out, actually, right now, is that right here, you can see this archway. Okay? This archway and this set of stairs is extremely significant. Over here, you can see there's this area of water, and then there's all of this over here. This is where Ascalon City is post-searing. This whole area defloods, and there's stuff set up over there. We can't actually get to it here. And this right here is actually where the entrance to that is. So when you see this gate over here, that's outside in the old Ascalon area. So I'm looking at the time, and I feel like that's actually, like, that's the time that I'd normally been aiming for episodes to be at, but honestly, it feels... Oh, there's Gwen out there, too. Probably for the cutscene that plays. But honestly, I kind of want to keep going, so I'm going to keep going a little bit longer, at least. And probably... I don't know. I don't know. Van the Warrior. All right, Valerie Peace. I was asked to see to it you learned what it means to be a warrior. You've heard the stories, no doubt. Warriors are impossible to kill, they are capable of incredible feats of endurance, and they're deadly in close combat. Listen to what I have to say, and you just might learn how to accomplish all these feats and more. So I'm curious about something. 25 armor. So that means I'm going to take slightly less than double damage. I could calculate it out exactly. The armor formula is... basically 2 to some crazy exponent stuff, but suffice it to say, 20 armor is double damage. So, anyway, I can accept my reward for it. I get 250 experience, which kind of slowly creeps me up. Experience is very slow in Prophecies. The other campaigns greatly increased it. But he says, I have a little challenge in mind to prepare you for what it's like to be a warrior. Live through this, and you're well on your way. A horde of scale has appeared at the river. Get down there and take care of them, and I mean all of them. When you finish, report back to me. Yes, sir. So once we do this, he'll give us some skills. There's a couple of other people that we can talk to. For example, here's Brownlow, a collector. And he will take scale fins and give us belt pouches or devour eggs. Devour eggs are a quest item. And there's Lena the healer, who actually probably is a henchman much later in the game, but says many people believe that maintaining a resurrection shrine and seeing to it that people get a second chance at life is supposed to be an inspirational and ennobling experience. I'm not one of those people. What's on your mind? Although that Lena is a protector. Here's Gwen. She says, I left my flute by the river, but there are lots of scary monsters there now. I don't know what to do. Can you maybe go kill them and bring my flute back? Sure, I can do that. Thank you. I can't wait. I know you'll find it. So she wants her flute. She lost her flute. Gwen's flute is kind of a significant item that shows up. So we need to take care of these river scale tad. We are not really capable of a whole lot of stuff, because, let's be blunt, we're level 1. Level 1. We have 350 experience, but these guys are level 0. So, we have no skills to help us. We don't hit very hard. But these enemies are fairly unaggressive and extremely weak. I think that 8 damage was probably a critical hit. What's the 3 to 5? Yeah, that's probably a critical hit. Hey, a longbow. Over here is this broken flute. So let's go ahead and grab this. So then we also completed the warrior's test. As you can see, it's a primary quest as opposed to an Ascalon quest. So quests come in couple categories. There's primary quests, which are like things that advance you through sort of the main plot. Then there are region quests, which are quests that you get a specific region. They're basically side quests. And then there's Zaishin quests and stuff too. Oh, I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs. Thanks for finding my flute. Oh no, it's broken. Now I'm going to have to get a new one. Can I follow you? Yes, you may follow me. That's a really weirdly done quest. Hi, Wilton Pace. I believe he shows up at a future point in time. But Van the Warrior here says, finally finished off all the scale, did you? Well, it took you long enough, but I've seen worse. Someday, with the right training, you may make something of yourself. I'll start by giving you a couple of skills. I'm headed back to town, but I suspect Haversdan will arrive shortly to advise you about what to do next. So we accept this, and when he does, Haversdan spawns. Van wanders off, and here's Haversdan. Oh. Confusing names. And he says, you're the warrior Sir Titus was telling me about, aren't you? Well, I imagine he's right that you've got potential, but potential won't save you from a Char firestorm. Experience will. I suggest you head southwest to Ashford and talk to Devona. She's bound to have a task or two for you. Thank you. I'll take your advice. So Haversdan just kind of guides and directs you. Now, there's something that you might have seen. There's a couple of people over here. There's Althea's Actor's Stage, and there's Prince Rurik and Captain Osric. So, Rurik says, lovely, isn't she? As lovely as the day is long. You're a lucky man, your highness. Aye, that I am. And what of the blessed event? Have you set a date? No, but I've got a more pressing problem, believe it or not. What is it, my prince? It's Althea's birthday tomorrow, and I haven't a gift for her. I've searched the shops, the treasure room. I need something utterly unique and breathtaking, like Althea. Don't give it another thought, your highness. Leave it to me. You've served me well in trying times, Osric, and for that you have my respect. If you can do this thing for me, you'll have my undying gratitude as well. And now, Captain Osric has a quest for us. He says, I have a very important mission for you, Valerie Peace. The prince's love, Althea, will celebrate her birthday tomorrow. The prince has charged me with finding the perfect gift, one that is as unique and beautiful as Althea herself. What do you say? Can you help me? I think I can handle that. So yeah, that adds a quest for a gift for Althea. Speaking of which, here's Lady Althea herself. Hi. You could use more polygons, I suppose, but whatever. So she can teach you how to be a mesmer. So at the watering hole southwest of here, you will find a rogue bull, terrible creature, a menace to everyone coming to visit our humble theater. Here are some mesmer spells to assist you. If you dispatch this creature for me, I'd be most grateful. So I can accept this quest, and she'll give me a bunch of mesmer spells. Now, I'm really terrible at spellcasting, because I'm a warrior. Also, they give you the Healing Signet Frenzy combo. Frenzy makes you take double damage, and Healing Signet gives you minus 40 armor, which also makes you take double damage. If you get hit while using both of these simultaneously, you're basically going to take a bajillion damage and die. And so new players are kind of known for having problems with that. There's a statue of Lyssa here. One of the things you'll notice about Pre-Searing Ascalon is that you always have the favor of the gods. So none of the statues will be in their unfavored states. So I think that's pretty interesting. I need to go in first person to actually look at this thing. But you can see it's got the twin goddesses. You can read about them in the statue of Lyssa pedestal thing here, which reads, And it was that a stranger came to the village of Wherein, seeking shelter and employment. Though young in years, her body was stooped and twisted, her flesh eaten by disease. You have the mark of plague upon ye, said the citizen named Galric. Leaveth this place, else you sicken our people. I've lost my family and my home, cried the desperate woman. Have you no heart? Yet each person in turn did turn her away. Then from the crowd came a young woman, Sarah. She looked upon the woman with pity. If you need help, said Sarah, I will give it. And did Sarah approach the gnarled, bent woman and gave her a helping hand. Then the sickened woman pulled from her body the robes of plague, revealing herself to be the goddess Lyssa. The people of Wherein fell to their knees, begging Lyssa's mercy. But lifting Sarah gently, saith she, True beauty is measured not by appearance, but by actions and deeds. Many have eyes, but few have seen. Of all here, you saw the beauty behind the illusion, and you alone shall be blessed with my gifts. And that's 45 years before the Exodus, apparently. You can see some bandit fire starters running around. There's a red iris flower over here. Red iris flowers just randomly spawn everywhere. You can sell them for 5 gold. You can give them to Gwen, and she gets happy with you. If you give her enough of them, she will give you some other random stuff. Annette Landrew. There's like random NPCs that wander around in the area too, which I think is pretty interesting. There's Gate Guard Torin over there, who wants us to go help a friend. What does Annette say? I don't really have time to talk right now. I'm delivering a message to Greenhouse County. By the way, this is what an Ascalonian peasant dress looks like. You can see that they tend to be fairer skinned and have a different clothing style than the Crichtons do. Gate Guard Torin. He says, I have a personal favor to ask of you. A good friend of mine has gone missing north of the wall. He's a ranger by the name of Ben Wolfson. He was on a scouting mission and was separated from his outfit when they came under attack from a char patrol near Piken Square. Ben's a survivor. I feel certain he's still alive, and I'd go after him if I could, but I have orders to remain here. I cannot even leave my post long enough to open the gate for you. To open it and pass through, you'll need a companion to pull the lever above the gate while you go through. I know it's a lot to ask, but if you could go north and look for him, I'd be in your debt. So, he says, remember you need a companion to help get you through the gate. You had best head back into the city to find some help. This is not entirely accurate anymore. It was at one point in time. In fact, it was the case that you needed a companion for almost the entire duration of the game at this point. But fairly recently, there has been an update which makes it so that way you have just enough time to slip through. It's just a little quality of life thing. So it's a recent thing. Something, though, that has encouraged me to want to go explore those areas. One of the things that I want to do now, though, is the bowl that Lady Althea wanted us to deal with is right over here. It's the Rogue Bowl. So this guy's level 5, way out levels us, and I believe it might in fact have the elite skill Bull's Charge, which is one of a very few elites in... Bull's Charge will cause him to knock us down. We're dealing really poor damage against him with our physical attacks. But thankfully we have a bunch of armor against physical, relatively speaking. And our lovely Conjure Phantasm doesn't last very long, but does do reasonable quantities of damage to him for its short duration. So we'll actually get quite a lot of experience when this guy goes down. Yeah, 168 experience, which is a lot from a mob. One of the other things you'll run across is there's chests and hidden stashes that don't require keys to open here. Just something you'll run into. So I'm going to go ahead and turn in this quest to Lady Althea, and then probably call the episode there, is my guess. That is my guess. And then, what we will do... She says, back already? Excellent. I can't thank you enough for taking care of that dangerous bull. I don't want to become a mesmer. That's just not useful. But I certainly appreciate it. Are you a hero too, like Aiden and Devona? My daddy was a great warrior, but he died when I was 7. Mommy says maybe we'll see him again after we die. Do you think that's true? So I'm going to go ahead and cut this episode here. Until next time, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.